Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you're coming on live, please do me a quick favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy, my squad, we are all live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Wednesday, Winning Wednesday. Today is November the 23rd. We are live. This is not a replay, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of times people are out for the holidays, but trust me, if I can figure out a way to get here tomorrow to go to work, and I can, just need to find me enough good reasons to show up tomorrow. I might be here tomorrow. So welcome to the Ramonepreston Show, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate all of you coming on. If you're joining me live right now, please do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and tag somebody and let somebody know that you know that needs to get some game. Let them know that we're live on the Ramonepreston Show. Also, I want you to put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. Put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. I would love to know what city you're watching me from. And I am super excited about today's show, because I'm going to be giving you some game on what you need to do, what you need to get done before this calendar year ends. Okay, so hit the like button, hit the share button, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody. And please put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. Please put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. It is Wednesday, W-I-N-S Day. It's Wednesday, November the 23rd, 2022. We are live, no replay on this Wednesday, one day before Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is Turkey Day, Thanksgiving Day, and we're super excited about everyone who's going to be celebrating, thank you so much, their Turkey Day and Thanksgiving with their family and friends. If you're already preparing to celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow, I'm appreciative and thankful that you took the time to join me today on the show. This is a very important conversation that I'm going to be having with you today, because if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you are a W-2 employee, a 1099 contractor, but especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're self-employed, if you're a 1099 contractor, listen to me, and I want you to really pay a lot of attention to what I'm about to say. There are certain things you got to get done before this year ends. Do not go into the next new year with things unfinished when it comes to your business, when it comes to your financial affairs, when it comes to the things that can determine your success or failure. I want to help you make that happen, okay? So please put in the comments what city you're watching me from, and we're going to take a few minutes to share a lot of very important things with you. So if you look at my description for today's show, I have all caps, entrepreneurs, because this is like a public service announcement, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they get lazy and they forget about getting certain things done before the year ends. And so I'm going to be talking to you today about some things that you just got to get done, okay? Now, most entrepreneurs, they know certain things got to get done. You got to get certain things done with your business. You got to get certain things done with your finances. You got to get certain things done with your clients, with your customers, with your marketing, with your sales, like everything that you can think about that it takes to run a business. All entrepreneurs know they just got to get these things done. But most entrepreneurs try to avoid it. They don't pay attention to it. And one of the reasons why is because they don't have the education and information and the strategies and the tools and the skill sets to do these things. So we're going to change that up today, okay? I'm going to show you not just what you need to do, what you need to get done, but I'm going to show you how to actually get it done. Now, before we do, let me stop and say, first and foremost, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I'm your host, Ramonepreston. If you don't know, now you know. Every Monday through Friday, even today, live, one day before Thanksgiving, we show up here on this show. When I say we, I'm talking about me and my squad, my team, my staff. And what we do is we provide information to you that we know you can use to properly start, to properly structure, and at some point properly scale your business and your income streams. Now, the reason why I say business and income streams, because if you don't have a business, you're a W-2 employee, you're a 1099 contractor, it doesn't mean that you're not doing some type of business. It just means that you don't have like an entity, a LLC or some type of corporation, but it still means that you have some type of entrepreneurial responsibility. Now, if you do have a LLC or multiple LLCs or corporations, you definitely need to be listening to me, because the information that I share with you on this show every Monday through Friday is the same information that I provide to my clients as a coach and a consultant. It's the same information that I provide to my students as an educator and trainer. And this is the same information that I use. This is what brought me from hood figure to seven figures. The success that I have in my entire organization comes from the information that I share with you on this show. Now, of course, I can't share everything I know on the show, because I take sometimes maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, so even an hour on the show to give you as much game as I can. I have a passion to help entrepreneurs. I have a passion for my community, people who look like me, who come from places that I come from. I have a passion to really help our people build legacies and create the right infrastructures and make sure that those infrastructures are stable and they're solid so that they can be successful. So again, if it's you and you know there are certain things that you just need to learn, you need to educate yourself on, you need somebody who knows what they're doing and who has actually accomplished it to give you the right information, that's why you're watching the show today. And so I want to talk to you about things that you need to get done before the new year. There's just certain things that you need to get done before the new year. Now, the first thing that I would say you need to get done, remember, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. You got this whole weekend, everybody gonna be off chilling, nobody's paying attention, everybody's blacking out, because that's what happens around the holiday seasons. I always tell my staff this. During the holiday seasons, people be checking out. And most time people don't check back in until January. But if you're an entrepreneur, you cannot afford to be like that. You can't afford to think like everybody else thinking. You can't afford to move like everybody else moving. You got to double down. You got to triple down. You got to quadruple down. You got to dial in on what needs to get done so that by the time you get into 2023, you already light years ahead. I think this is one of the advantages I have, because I'm always trying to get ahead. I'm always trying to, speed my process up and do as much as I can now so that I can see the results later. I heard someone say it this way: if you pay the price now, you could pay any price later. So if you have things that you could do right now to make your business better in January, doesn't it make sense to do it? If there's certain things you can put in place now, certain habits you can form, certain efforts you can make, certain actions you can take, wouldn't you think it would be beneficial for you to do it now instead of waiting until January? Everybody who's waiting until January, all they doing is just waiting on income tax time. They just waiting for the hood lottery to come back around, and they keep perpetuating the same cycle. But if you're an entrepreneur, you can't think like everybody else thinking. You got to think like an entrepreneur. You got to be responsible like an entrepreneur. So what are some of the things that you need to get done before the new year? One thing you need to get done is your business structure. You need to have this done, your business structure. Now, I'm talking to a few people when I say this. So let me address everybody that fits this criteria. So when I say you need to get your business structure done before the new year, What am I actually talking about? Well, number one, if you ain't got no business structure, if you don't have a LLC, you don't have a corporation, you might be listening to some people and they telling you, man, just wait till 2023 and start fresh in January. Don't you know you can start your LLC or your corporation now, and you can actually put in the date when you get your EIN number or your articles of organization, you can put the date that you want it to like officially start. If you don't want it to start today, you don't have to start it today when you file the paperwork. You can file the paperwork and put the start date for January 2023. That's fine, but why wait to January? Like, it just don't make sense for people to just let all this time go by when you can get your EIN, you could get your articles of organization, you could get your operating agreement, you could get your bank account set up, you can get your Duns and Bradstreet, you could do all this stuff now during the holidays. So when you get to January 1, guess what? Boom, you hit the ground running. Because here's what a lot of people gonna do who don't have their business structure set up yet. They gonna wait to January. And then when the first week of January come, because January 1st is on a Sunday. So the earliest they're gonna do it is January 2nd, after they make a New Year's resolution. Something gonna come up, you already know what's gonna happen. And then you're gonna drag your behind for a couple weeks and you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna just wait till tax time in February, then I might do it. Then before you know it, it's gonna be April. Your tax money done got spent, you struggling again, and you like, you know what, I'm gonna just wait till the summer when everything die down. It's an excuse. So if you don't have your LLC, if you don't have your EIN number, if you don't have your bank account, your operating agreement, if you don't have an idea of what type of structure you should even have, get it done now. Get it done now before the new year. Now, for those of you that already have your LLCs, how does this apply to you if this is something you need to get done? This applies to you from the perspective of you want to make sure that it is structured or organized correctly. So for example, you want to make sure you have your parent company. This is the holding company. You want to have your holding company set up correctly. Now, I have a lot of clients that I work with who already have LLCs set up, and they don't necessarily need to start a new LLC to have a holding company. Sometimes you could take a LLC that already exists and you could use that as a holding company. But either way, you want to get your parent company, your holding company set up. Then now is the time for you to figure out, okay, what are the things that I'm doing in my business right now that could be considered divisions? Like, what are my divisions? So your divisions kind of ties into your systems and processes, but more specifically, when I say divisions, I'm really thinking about like how many layers of business activity can you create? How many products and services can you create? So like, for example, okay, my company is a company, it's a parent company, it's a holding company, but then I have divisions within my company. So I have a consulting division, I have a coaching division, I have an educational division, but within each division, it may represent certain areas, certain other areas. So I have a financial consulting, coaching and education. I've got business consulting, coaching and education. You see what I mean? I've got real estate consulting, coaching and education. And then I have other divisions like we have a licensing division. We have a certification for coaches. We certify coaches. So I'm just showing you that you need to structure this. You need to make sense of this because you don't want to go into the new year all over the place. But then you want to also look at your subsidiaries. Are there certain things you're doing in your business that you don't want to run through your holding company? And you don't want them to be divisions, but you want them to be subsidiaries, meaning that you want them to be wholly owned companies that are under your holding company. But whatever the case is, you want to have your business structure. This is something that you want to get done in the beginning. All right. So your business structure is about you making sure you have your holding company set up correctly. You have your division set up correctly. You have your subsidiary set up correctly. And again, what are some of the things that you want to make sure you have the boxes checked on. You want to have your EIN numbers. You want to have your Duns and Bradstreets. You want to have your operating agreements. These are all the things that you want to have. There may be certain forms or documents that you need, which, by the way, everything that I'm telling you here that you need to do, I've got courses showing you how to do all this. I've got the documents, like I've got operating agreements in my holding company course. I've got other agreements that you can use. I have walkthrough video tutorials. I literally have a whole entire course on how to start and structure holding companies. I show you how to file and form the paperwork, how to draft your operating agreements, how to make sure that your language is correct so that when you do file your articles of organization, it's all correct. So again, if you need that information and you need that education, we have the resources for you. But for now, this is like one of the first things you want to get done. All right. Now let's look at some other things you want to get done. What are some other things? Okay. Some other things you want to get done is you want to figure out what is your position within your organization. Like, what is your position? So I call this like the P's, okay? Because you have position, you have products, you have prices, you have packaging. So these are things that, these are like the P's that you want to get done before the new year. So what do I mean by position? Well, you got to make sure you're properly positioned. So you already know your corporate position for your company is going to be the CEO. But are there other positions? Are there other positions that you are assuming that you need to properly clarify and define so that you are clear on what you're doing? So I know a lot of people who have LLCs, they consider themselves to be CEOs, but they really don't know, like, what am I doing in my company? In other words, they don't know their position. They don't know exactly what they're supposed to do. This is why I teach on your position. I teach about your corporate position, and I teach about certain executive positions that you need to hold. So you might need to assume a consulting position. But if you assume that position, or an educator, or a coach, or a mentor, or an influencer, if these are certain things that you want to do, you have to figure out, and I can help you figure that out, but you've got to at least, I'm going to use a better phrase than figure out. Let me say it this way. You have to be clear when you identify what the best position is that you should assume in your business that gives you the most value. Because you could be a lot of things, right? You could be an educator, you could be an influencer, you could be a product seller, a service provider, you could be a coach, a consultant, you could be an expert, a guru, a mogul, but you have to identify clearly what is the best position that gives me the biggest bang for my buck. Because once you identify with that position, it's going to play into what products you have. It's definitely going to play into what products you have. So let me give you an example. Let's say if you are you sell apparel. Let's say if you have an apparel company, or let's say you have a real estate company. You're a wholesaler, you're a flipper, you're an investor, or let's say you have a landscaping company, or let's say you have a marketing company. Whatever the business is, well, there's a difference between you being the service provider of that thing that you do. There's a difference between that and you actually being an expert in that space who can educate people about that, or who can consult people on that. So these are different products and services that you're going to have. It's very, very important. And these are concepts that you got to learn. I teach these concepts to my students and clients because I know I have done it in my business, and it has given me a lot of leverage to get in the right rooms and to really build a sustainable, successful company that I can be proud of, because I was wise enough to see that, okay, I can't just be the plumber, right? If I'm Joe the plumber, I can't just go into the marketplace as Joe the plumber. I might have to reposition myself and go into the marketplace as Joe the plumbing expert, the plumbing consultant, who can provide information, who can consult people, who can, inform people, and who can become a go-to person, right? And as a result of me being, let's say, quote unquote, Joe the plumbing expert or Joe the plumbing consultant, it's easy for me to sell my plumbing services as opposed to me just going to the market as Joe the plumber. So it's very important, your position. Your position is going to play into your products. So you got to have products. And really your products can also be connected to services. So I talked to my coaching mentees on my coaching call Monday about this. I was talking to them about creating valuable offers. So that means if you're going to create offers, like I'm going to offer you a product and a service at the end of this show. Well, if I'm going to create them products so that I can offer to you, I've got to make sure that they're valuable. And I got to have enough, all right? I have to have enough. I may have to have certain products and services together. I may have to have them separate, but you got to have products. And if you don't own products, then you need to find people who own them and you need to learn to use them. This is how network marketing companies are so successful, because the people who join network marketing companies, they don't really own the products or services. They just use them. They don't own like people who do drop shipping, or they have Amazon accounts or Shopify accounts. They don't necessarily own these products or services. They're just using them. But you got to have products and services. And then once you identify with your products and services, you got to price them. You have to price them. So if you're going to be a consultant, you have to have consulting prices. If you're a coach, if you're an educator, what are the prices of your courses, of your services? If you're doing events, if you're influencing people, if you have physical or digital products and services, you got to have prices. And your prices should range from free all the way up to thousands, because you can't dictate to what the marketplace is going to want from you. All right. So, and then next, the final P is packaging. You got to make sure that you're able to package your products and services in a way that they can be attractive to people. Like, I've got a lot of big ticket products and programs and services that I provide, but I know my value. I know my worth. I know what I'm capable of doing as a business consultant. Most people who are in my space, particularly as business consultants, who really help people build their infrastructures and their systems and processes, most of those people might not even have like coaching programs or educational programs like I do, because they're just focused on their niche of consulting. So I span from consulting to coaching to education. And so I have multiple products, so that if you don't hire me as a consultant, you can hire me as a coach. If you don't hire me as a coach, you could just take my courses and learn what I know as a consultant and coach. But I have to be able to have those products and services priced right and packaged right, so I can generate some activity. All right. So that's another thing that you need to do before the year is out. Listen, if you have any questions about what I'm talking to you on, and you know you need answers, you need help, you need support, especially if you are getting into business or you're already in business, but you're kind of stuck and stalled, you don't know which direction to go, you need to reach out to me. Again, I've got consulting services, I've got coaching programs, I've got just educational programs, courses that you can just start educating yourself. You can learn on your own. You can take time to really understand these principles and concepts like I do. So if you need information, on this, I want you to reach out to me today, because this information will determine your success or failure in the coming year. All right. So what are some other things that you need to get done before 2023? Well, let's just assume you did the business structure, right? That was the first thing. So let's just assume you did your business structure. You got that done. All right. And then let's assume you did your 4 Ps. You did your position right. You did your products and services, your prices, and your packaging. Okay, so what would be the third thing? What would be the next thing that I would recommend? I'm gonna put it over here. What would be the next thing that I would recommend you need to get done before this year is out? The next thing would be for you to get your marketing and sales systems and processes. This will be like next after your business structure, your 4 P's, because let's just think about it. Like, I want to walk you through this, and I want you to really wrap your mind around what I'm saying, because I'm talking fast because I have to get through a lot of information in a short period of time. But let's say you have your business structure. So you start your holding company, you have your LLC, you got your EIN number, you got your bank account. So your business structure is done correctly, all right? Next, you go to your 4 P's. You identify what your best position is. What is the best position that you can assume? And by the way, as a coach and a consultant, I walk clients through this process on a regular basis. Every coaching session that I do, consultations that I do, this is what I offer to my clients and students. I show you how to walk through this process. So you get to the 4 P's. You identify with your position in your company. What is the best position that can get you the biggest bang for your buck, that can get you the most attention, that can help you build your business and your brand? Then you look at your products and services. You take your ideas, you start converting them into products and services, then you price your products and services, then you package them. So once you do that, what's the next thing to do? Present them. In other words, the next thing to do is market them so you can sell them. Like, this is like business 101. This is start, structure, scale 101. You market and you sell. This is why you got to get this done. Now, when I say you need to get your marketing and sales systems and processes done, here's what I mean. You need a CRM. You need some type of customer relations management software. You need a house. That's what a CRM is. A CRM is simply a technology platform, some type of software that you use to house information that you get from potential customers and clients. Okay? So for example, if you put a post on social media and you put a call to action on that post and you give people an offer and you want people to respond to that offer, how are they going to respond? Are they going to DM you? Are they going to inbox you? Are they going to send you an email? Are they going to text you? Are they going to call you? And when this activity starts happening, where are you putting their information? So if you tell me, hey, Ramon, I'm selling A, B, C, D, and E, and I say, hey, I'm interested in your products or services, and I give you my name, I give you my number, I give you my email address, where are you housing that information so that next week you can reach back out to me, or you can send me another offer, or you can follow up with me, or you can walk me through a presentation and give me an idea of how valuable your products and services are. You can't do that. You can't do it if you ain't got marketing systems, marketing and sales systems and processes. So again, if you do not have a CRM, I can recommend some to you that my clients use, that I do workshops on marketing and sales. I work with my clients who are in my coaching program on this. So this is information that it ain't foreign to me. This is information that I know about and I utilize for myself and my business, and I want to help you utilize it. But you need to put a CRM together. You need to have a house so that when you take these products and services that you priced and packaged to social media, when you put them on a landing page, when you put them on your website, when you make flyers and pass out cards, you have a house that you can put this information in, okay? You gotta have your marketing and sales systems. And again, when people reach out to you, or when you reach out to people and you communicate to people, sales is going to play a very important role because your marketing is like your lifeline to your sales. So once you get somebody's attention and you start communicating with that person, your sales skills are going to be important, because now you got to have some type of process. It's called a sales process that you have to walk people through. You have to be able to ask them the right questions. You got to be able to qualify them. You got to be able to give a demonstration or a presentation of the benefits and the results of your products and services. And you got to be able to close the deal. You got to make a conversion. I mean, you just have to be able to do that. And again, even if you're not physically doing it over the phone, or if you ain't doing it in a presentation, you're going to do it through a landing page. You're going to do it through an email. You're going to do it through a website or whatever. You're still going to have this system and process in place. All right? So here's the last thing I'm going to talk to you about that you need to get done before 2023. And this might be the most important thing of all these, especially if you're already doing business and you're already an entrepreneur, you out there grinding and hustling. Please, I would love to know what your feedback is on what I'm talking about so far. I would love to know that. So again, I'm telling you, you got to get this stuff done before this year is out. You got to get this stuff done. I mean, I just can't stress it enough. See, if you was in my position, and you were the business consultant, you were the coach, and you worked with as many clients that I work with, and you heard the horror stories every year like I do, you would be like frantic right now, because that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, listen, entrepreneurs, you need to get your stuff together. You cannot be in business, generating business activity, making money through your business, and not have your business and financial affairs in order. You gotta have this stuff in order. Otherwise, you're gonna stay small. Otherwise, you're gonna always fly below the radar. Otherwise, you're gonna always function under the table, and you're gonna just be a shabby shade tree entrepreneur. If you want to grow, if you want to become a millionaire, you can't operate under the table. If you want to grow and become a millionaire, you can't be shady and shade tree. You got to have your stuff together. That's just the way it is. And that's the way you should want it to be for you and for your family and for your legacy. So what is the final thing I want to talk to you about that you should be getting done before the new year? It would be your financials and your forecasting. And again, if you don't understand this language that I'm talking, it's only because you're just not around it enough. That's all. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, it's just because you're not around it enough. You're not hearing it enough. You're not learning this stuff enough. I just, every day I get reviews, like students who are on Ramonepreston University that take our courses, they always, like regularly, send reviews. They always send a review. I just got a review from one of our students that's on one of our courses, and he was taking the creative tax strategy course. Shout out to my man C. I'm not saying names because I really didn't get permission to say nobody's name. I know he probably wouldn't care, but his name is C. And he said he was talking about the creative tax strategy course. He said, with regard to savings and tax strategies, he says, this reassured me that I can write off certain things, but I need to get to the point that my business is flowing so I can analyze how I'm controlling my expenses. He says, patience and education will be the thrust once the infrastructure of my business is built vault tight. He says, those tax strategies are amazing, and I should have asked more about children for business. I can't wait until I learn tax strategies comfortably enough to teach the fundamentals. So these are just students that take my courses and they learn these principles and concepts, and then when they start putting them to practice, they realize, oh my God, I should have been knew this. Absolutely. But now you do. And if you do not have this information and you're not putting it to practice, get it done before the new year, and I'm giving you an opportunity to get it done today. So here's another thing you need to get done, your financials. What do I mean? Well, you should have some type of financial accounting system like QuickBooks already. Okay? You should already have some type of financial accounting system that you are tracking your income and expenses. Now you might say, well, I ain't got no money coming in my business. So you got expenses. Didn't it cost you to get your LLC set up? Doesn't it cost you to get a coach? Doesn't it cost you to hire a business consultant? Don't it cost you to do flyers, to get a domain? Didn't it cost you to have internet for your business? Didn't it cost you to get in your car and go to a meeting because you was trying to get your first customer? Even if you just got expenses, you still want to track your financial expenses. So even if you're showing a loss, because if you got a business that's set up this year and next year you go to do your taxes and file your taxes for yourself and for your business, you want to have financial activities already lined up correctly so that your CPA, your accountant, can see where you are with regard to your financials. All right? Now, if you're making money, you definitely want to make sure you understand where you are with your financial accounting, because you don't want to just go to the CPA or the accountant and then give them whatever you give them. And then they tell you, oh, by the way, you owe $5,000 in taxes. And you're like, what? I didn't know I was supposed to owe that. This is why I'm telling you this year. Like, I already know every new year within that first quarter, I already know there are so many business owners and 1099 contractors who probably thinking to themselves, I should have listened to Ramonepreston. I should have paid that dude them couple $1,000s he was charging me to consult me. I should have joined his coaching program. I should have learned them principles. Of course you should have, because it's always 20/20 vision in hindsight. Every time you look back, you got 20/20 vision. But I don't want to keep looking back. I want to look ahead. And I don't want to be sick to my stomach next year around February, March, or April when it's time for me to look at my tax bill because I didn't have my financial affairs in order this year. Because guess what? Your CPA and your tax person, they're going to tell you, well, you can't go back into next year. Like, what you going to do? You can't go back into last year and fix it now that you're in the new year. You need to fix it now. This is where forecasting comes in at. Every year, this time of the year, guess what my tax person does? They help me forecast. They help me look out into the future to see what will your potential tax bill be, just in case I need to figure out creative ways this year to lower that bill next year. This is the game. I keep telling people, like, you're not going to become a millionaire. And I hate to say it that way, but if you want to become a millionaire and you're talking about doing that through a business, you ain't going to become no millionaire if you don't learn the tax game. It's just not going to happen. I don't see how you think it's going to just happen because you out there grinding and hustling. I know people right now who make hundreds of thousands of dollars but don't have it because they pay taxes. Like, I just read an article. Maybe a week ago. And the article was showing that the average person right here in Metro Atlanta who makes $1 million, the average person who makes $1 million a year here in Atlanta, and this is the same in many other states, and it's probably worse, but the average person here in Atlanta and many other places who makes $1 million a year, of course, this may be a reference to W-2 employees, but it ain't too far from 1099 contractors and business owners who don't understand the tax game. So, but for W-2 people, the average person who makes $1 million a year only really makes about $500,000, if not less than that. Why? Because they don't understand how important financial accounting and forecasting is to their businesses or to their jobs and careers. So if you want to change that dynamic, here's what I've done. I have scheduled a free web class that I'm going to be hosting on Saturday, December the 3rd. It's a free web class. It's a 2-hour deep dive. And I'm going to be doing this 2-hour deep dive on holding companies. So I'll be talking all about business structures. I'll be talking about how to start and structure a holding company, how to build your divisions, how do you structure your subsidiaries. We'll be talking about filing and forming your paperwork, operating agreements, transferring assets the correct way. We'll be talking about creative tax strategies as well. I'll be sharing with you a lot of creative tax strategies. And again, when I say this, I don't want you to think that I'm a tax strategist or I'm an expert. I'm an entrepreneur who just wants to get wealthy. And I'm willing to learn and to pay to figure out the most creative ways to get wealthy. All right. And so when I talk about creative tax strategies, I'm really just talking about how you should have a solid financial system in place so that you're able to track your income and expenses. You can learn to become more financially literate, and you can leverage your business. You can leverage your investments. You can leverage your day-to-day financial activities in such a creative way that you lower your tax liability while maximizing your profitability. I'm just simplifying it for you. But on Saturday, December the 3rd, for 2 hours, your boy gonna be talking about both of these. Here's the good thing. This web class that I'm hosting is absolutely free. It's absolutely free, but you do have to RSVP. You do have to RSVP. Now, while we wait for December the 3rd, what I have offered was two courses for $197. So I have this course on holding companies. I have an entire course on how to start and structure holding companies. I have walkthrough video tutorials in this course. I have all the documents and the forms that you need, your operating agreement, other agreements, asset transfer agreements, licensing agreements, lease agreements. Everything is in this one course right here. Like literally, you could take this one course and you can learn all the ins and outs of holding companies. But then I have another course on creative tax strategies, and I probably share well over 100 different creative tax strategies that you can use to lower your tax liability and maximize your profitability. I also show you how to go back up to January 1st of this year and how to reconcile all your financial transactions. I even have a 2-hour workshop in this course showing you how to set up and configure your QuickBooks to fit your business. So these are two courses that I'm offering for $197, because what I want you to do is I want you to get started training, educating yourself, so that when you join me live on Saturday, December the 3rd, you would have already been going through these courses. You're not going to get through all of them, but you'll be able to get through enough to track it enough so that on December the 3rd, you can ask quality questions. And on December 3rd, you're going to get new information so that you can really end this year strong. I promise you, and this is just like I'm just shooting the breeze when I say promise, but I'm telling you, just these two courses alone will not only save you tens of thousands of dollars as a W-2 employee too, and as a 1099, and as a real business owner, either or, but they will also make you tens of thousands of dollars. I know it. I've seen it so many times. Just the strategy for W-2 employees alone for taxes, 80% of people who work W-2 jobs pay too much in taxes, and they don't even know how to readjust their W-4 forms so that they can lower their tax bill. They don't know how to connect that strategy to a legitimate business so that they can run their expenses through their business to get write-offs and business deductions. I don't see how you think you're going to be a millionaire no other way than doing things like this. I'm telling you, it just doesn't work no other way. So anyway, I want to give you access to these two courses for $197. And I want to get you RSVP'd, signed up for our free web class on Saturday, December the 3rd. So while you're waiting for the web class, you have 2 powerful courses that you can get access to, and you can get the game, you can learn it, and I guarantee you'll be thanking me by December the 3rd that you got access to this. So if you want to take me up on this offer, 2 courses and a free web class for $197, all you need to do is text the word offer to 404-478-7213. You text the word offer to me, and we're going to reach back out to you, and we'll take a few minutes to speak with you over the phone. We'll get you signed up as an RSVP for our free web class on December the 3rd, and we can get you onboarded to the 2 courses on holding companies and creative tax strategies. And I already know, once you start learning that, you're going to be like, man, I don't know what I've been thinking about. It's a game changer. It's what changed my life. It's what has given me like the biggest leverage as an entrepreneur, and I want you to have the same. So I appreciate all of you for joining the show today. Tomorrow we will not be here live. Of course, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I'm going to respect our families, and I'm going to respect our community and let you enjoy your Thanksgiving. I might be here Friday. I'm not going to promise you that I won't, because I might be in my office Friday working. I don't know. But nevertheless, even if we're not here tomorrow and Friday, you will see me back here next Monday with another edition of the Ramonepreston Show. So I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. Like, what is the thing that you heard me talk about today that you're like, oh wow, that was powerful, bro. You spit some game there, dog. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. And please be sure to text the word offer to 404-478-7213. I want to sign you up for my free web class. It's going to be a 2-hour deep dive on December the 3rd, and I want to give you access to my 2 courses on holding companies and creative tax strategies, because those are 2 of the most important things you got to get done before the new year. Love all of you. Happy Thanksgiving to you on behalf of my family, my staff, our company here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. We wish you a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week, Monday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, right here on the Ramonepreston Show. Peace.